Philip Hammond today handed £12.8 billion extra to the NHS, insisting he was making the health service fit for the future. The Chancellor said there would be an extra £2.8 billion on top of the current day-to-day budgets, including £350 million to deal with the coming winter. And he said £10 billion in capital would be spent preparing the NHS for the future. Mr. Hammond hailed a higher-than-ever number of operations and a 20-year high in patient satisfaction. The Chancellor signalled higher pay for nurses in the next round of salary reviews but stopped short of naming a figure. NHS England Chairman Sir Malcolm Grant has welcomed extra money in the budget but said it was still not enough for the struggling health service. Philip Hammond, pictured on the steps of No 11 today, pledged investment in the National Health Service in response to demands for a dramatic increase in spending. And announcing new cash, he said, "We will deliver an additional £10 billion package of capital investment over the course of this Parliament, to support the sustainability and transformation plans which will make our NHS more resilient. Investing for an NHS which is fit for the future. But we also recognise that the NHS is under pressure right now. I am therefore exceptionally, and outside the spending review process, making an additional commitment of resource funding of £2.8 billion to the NHS in England, including £350 million immediately to allow trusts to plan for this winter, and £1.6 billion in 2018-19, with the balance in 19-20, taking the extra resource into the NHS next year to £3.75 billion in total." Mr. Hammond told the Commons that Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt would consult with NHS unions about pay modernisation and submit evidence to the independent pay review body. The government made clear in the summer it would now accept larger pay rise recommendations from the reviews in the coming year. And Mr. Hammond said today, "I want to assure NHS staff and patients, that if the Health Secretary's talks bear fruit, I will protect patient services by providing additional funding for such a settlement." Sir Malcolm warned, "The extra money the Chancellor has found for the NHS is welcome and will go some way towards filling the widely accepted funding gap. However, we can no longer avoid the difficult debate about what it is possible to deliver for patients with the money available. The NHS England Board will need to lead this discussion when we meet on November the 30th. NHS Chief Executive Simon Stevens, file image, has warned the health service is braced for a tough winter and needs more money to deal with long-term rises in demand. The Chancellor has been under growing pressure both inside and outside government to deliver the Vote Leave pledge for £350 million a week for the NHS. NHS Chief Executive Simon Stevens has warned the health service is braced for a tough winter and needs more money to deal with long-term rises in demand. On Sunday, Shadow Health Secretary Jonathan Ashworth described Mr. Hammond as out of touch with his approach to NHS funding. Speaking on Sunday with Niall Patterson, Mr. Ashworth said an extra £6 billion was needed to avert Armageddon.